Good afternoon, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. I have my tiara on. I'm being a complete princess today. I don't care. I hope you've had a lovely weekend and that you've had a nice day. I have a wicked guest on my show today, and I am so excited to introduce Harpreet Sahota. I think I said that right. He is doing some wicked things in the data science space. Relatively new himself, so we'll have a wee chat about that as well. He also has the smoothest voice you will ever have heard. So let me just bring him on. Good
What's up?
morning to you.
Good morning, good afternoon to you as well. Shout out to all the amazing women in data, International Women's Day. I think that is awesome. We should celebrate the achievements such as yourself and Kate and Christina and all the wonderful people in our community. Shout out, guys.
Thanks. You've got some pretty kick-ass women that attend your sessions in happy hour, which are late night Friday nights for me. I do try to come along when I can, but either I'm drunk or passed out or asleep by then normally. But yeah, you have some amazing visitors to your happy hour.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you ended up where you are now, because that's probably not where you started, like most of us.
Oh yeah. So now, as in data science, that was a long and windy journey, right? So when I first wanted to break into the quantitative field, this was like 2008ish. I was like, I'm gonna take on the most sexiest job in the world, because back then the most sexiest job was as an actuary.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so I was studying to be an actuary for a while, and I was, taking some exams, passed a bunch of exams, and was well on my way to that path. And then I met a fine young lady here in Canada, fell in love, got married, moved to Canada. And when I moved into Canada, I started working as a biostatistician, because that's like really the only job that I could get here in this city that was well aligned with my previous, experience and education. And I worked in that role for like almost 5 years as a biostatistician. And I absolutely hated it, dude. I did not enjoy that
How
job.
did you manage 5 years?
Man, I had to stick with it in order for me to get documentation and paper that allowed me to work
Yeah.
everywhere else. And it wasn't until like 2018 when I finally decided to make that transition. Because even when I was working as an actuary, what I gravitated towards was predictive modeling and predictive analytics, which has since been rebranded as data science. And
Ah.
then in 2018, I started to really take it seriously. Like, I'm going to really start pursuing this new direction.
Yeah.
And it did require me to pick up a whole bunch of new skills that I did not know before. And so there's a lot of self-teaching involved, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and rejections and things like that.
Yeah. What was the biggest surprise for you that you didn't expect?
I didn't realize that when I first made the transition. I thought just knowing math and statistics would be enough. Like, I was like the king of the world if I knew that in this field, but that's not true, right? Like, there's so much more that I have to know. So the biggest surprise to me, and this is coming from somebody who has worked primarily in like quote unquote academic type of roles, even as an actuary, I was doing a lot of research, and biostatistics is very much a research type of role. I had no prior exposure to like technology and things like that. So just that chasm was really, really wide.
Yeah.
To overcome that was quite challenging.
Wow. So I guess, where did the artists of data science come from, and what is it?
So the artists of data science are you fine people that listen to my podcast. You guys are the artists of data science. So it came as an idea in my head, like just a little over a year ago. So it was like February of 2020, right before the pandemic had hit. My wife and I had taken a baby moon little vacation before the baby had come, and we're just hanging out on a beach in Florida. And I was like, all right, well, man, I want to do something big, but I don't know what it's going to look like. And at first I was like, I'm going to write a book. And then I was like, dude, nobody's going to read a book that I write. And then I was just thinking, what can I do to help impact people, help make a positive contribution to people's lives? And I remembered when I was breaking into data science, trying to reach out to people, trying to get answers to questions. Like, it was very difficult, and it's because people are extremely busy.
Yeah.
So I figured, all right, let me start a podcast, and through this podcast, I can ask questions that I had when I was coming up, while simultaneously just creating a bunch of mentors for myself and just ask them questions that I genuinely wanted answers to. And then it just started snowballing and changing into something bigger and bigger than I imagined. Because now of course, I'm not interviewing just data scientists. I'm interviewing authors and a bunch of just interesting people that I really, really want to talk to and learn from.
Brilliant. And what about your day job? Because
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of feels like your whole day job, but that's not even your day job.
No, my day job is lead data scientist at Price Industries. So the first data scientist they hired. So I'm really starting the data science practice from the ground up. And now my day to day has now evolved slowly more into strategy type of stuff. So I'm helping them undertake a digital transformation. So helping them with their data strategy. So me and one of my colleagues are like building the entire strategy for the next 3 years, and that's pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like I definitely won't be doing any machine learning or proper quantitative stuff for at least the next several months. But
Yeah.
But it's a skill that I want to develop, and I know that as I progress in my career, like I see myself in the C-suite, right? Chief data officer, chief analytics officer.
I can see that too.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and these skills that I'm developing now, it's definitely important. I find this, like, the work that I'm doing at the current job is almost like just an extremely highly paid university crash course, because they're paying me to learn, which is the most amazing feeling ever. But as much as I learn, I'm gonna have to contribute and give back to the organization, and as long as I see that as an investment in their future as well. So
that's a great way to think about it, and you're very kind of generous, and the whole group within data scientists are all very generous within their knowledge sharing. Like, some amazing problems get solved within your group that if you went to a consultant would cost you thousands of dollars.
Yeah, definitely.
And people are just happy to help.
Exactly. It's a very giving culture. I mean, obviously, like, I know I get hundreds of messages a week from people. I wish I could help all of you guys. It's difficult to carve out time to help each one of you individually, but I'm hoping that through the office hours and through the podcast episodes, we can help share that knowledge and wisdom at scale.
It's a great idea. I think when you're talking about understanding kind of strategy as well as all the data science, I think that's something that I see a bit of a gap in, especially coming from a non-data science background and kind of kissing the edges of it. I see that maybe it's communication between the business and the data department. I have worked where you just couldn't let some of the data guys near the clients because they just didn't have any customer service skills at all. And I think there's such a focus when you're learning on the technical aspect of it that sometimes, like for me, context is really important within data, especially the kind of data I work with. But sometimes that kind of knowledge and experience is lacking when data scientists come out into the real world and have real data sets. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the biggest part of it, because I think as a data scientist, if you want to be a successful data scientist with a long career and continue to climb up the hierarchy, you need to have a duality mindset, which is simultaneously being able to speak to both technical stakeholders and business stakeholders and be the bridge, that covers that gap between them, which is challenging to do, and it's hard to think simultaneously in the clouds and in the dirt, but you have to be able to do that. And it's hard, man. Like, I've been having to teach that to myself through this, my career, really, but more so recently with the stuff I'm doing at work.
It's hard because it's something that you have to learn, but it's hard to teach it. You kind of just have to learn it.
I think every good thing in life that is worth knowing cannot be taught, but it can be learned.
I like that. Yes, that is true. That is really good. And if we get onto your kind of Zen thoughts, you do kind of follow a lot of cool people, and you've had some cool people on your podcast as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had some really, really just super smart, intelligent people who just have a ton of wisdom to share, and it's like an honor to be able to just book off a bit of their time and just ask them questions.
So how did you attract them to your podcast?
It's a lot of persistence, a lot of well-crafted emails, and just being unafraid to reach out to people. And it takes a lot of detective work to try to find someone's email address.
Yeah.
So that's a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great kind of example for you as a kind of role model, because these things don't fall in your lap. You have to work for them. You have to be determined. You have to like not take no for an answer and just keep pushing. And yeah, if you want something, you kind of have to just go and get it.
Oh, absolutely. That's like the only way to get anything, right? Like I've never once had anything handed to me. Everything has been just work and effort and an insane amount of determination.
Yeah.
Right?
But don't you appreciate it so much more when you get it, because you feel like you've earned it?
Yeah, that's true. But then there's also like just hedonic adaptation where it's like, all right, great. Now what's the next thing? What's the next bigger
Oh, yeah,
better
totally.
thing that I got to go after?
That is the entrepreneur mindset. Yeah. So, I mean, do you think one day you might like your own business? And because that kind of...
I mean, I am a business.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. But obviously, yeah, at some point in the future, like, this whole idea of renting out my time is something I just want to eliminate from my life. Right. Because
that's a good way to think about it. Renting out your time.
Yeah, because you're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of something to gain any type of financial freedom. And, I think I'm slowly going to be working my way there. And by slowly, I mean at a fast, rapid pace, but with patience.
I'm not so good with the patience, but working on it.
Yeah.
Ben says he totally can relate to what you're saying about working across the technical and business worlds. Any kind of top tips for that? Like, like use this word instead of that word, and
Wait, people are actually watching us have a conversation? I thought it was just us two. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Can you bring Ben's?
I know.
Shh. Yeah. Can you bring Ben's comment back up so I can read it again? Yeah. So completely relate to what you're saying. All right. Okay, great. Sorry. And then your question after that was,
have you got some tips in terms of people like Ben, yourself, to manage that relationship? And it could be, don't use this word instead, or cut your sentences down, or I don't know.
Yeah, there's a really, really good book that I highly recommend everyone to read. Well, first of all, just understand that to be successful as a data scientist, you have to be able to build and be able to sell, right? The ultimate is when you're able to do both. That's when you will be unstoppable, right? So learn to build, learn to sell. So obviously we all kind of know how to build in the sense that we can build technical solutions from the ground up, but being able to sell that is difficult. One book that I found really helpful was the Master the Art of Selling Anything. I forgot who it was by. That might not even be the title, but it's like the art of selling.
I feel like I feel like I know that book.
Yeah, that's a good book. Any book that is geared towards marketing or sales is really important to read, I think, for data scientists. So Seth Godin's book, This is Marketing, or All Marketers Are Liars, is another good one. But for me, I was able to distill a lot of this stuff down, and I have like a framework that I have. Is called the EPIC framework, EPIC, right? And this is the framework I use to move people from a point of just not agreeing with me or seeing things differently towards concurrence, right? And that's empathy, perspective taking, influence, and concurrence. So that's the
your epic and my quote make a perfect match.
There we go. We got an epic quote.
Yes. And actually that's something I completely forgot about. You do mentor a lot of people, don't you?
Yeah, that kind of just happened by accident. So I joined Data Science Dream Job like 3 years ago as a student myself. Kyle McHugh has now become a very good friend of mine. was the guy who started Data Science Dream Job. I joined as one of his mentees, and at that point, we had only like 300 students. And I just took a lot of his teachings and lessons to heart, made them my own, synthesized them right. So I went through the stages of assimilation, imitation, and what's the last one? Innovation. Yes. So was able to go through those stages with his framework and just start crushing it in the interview process. And as a
But
result of that, yeah, he brought me on as a mentor.
Yeah, you said something really important there, which was that you put your kind of twist and your style on it. And I think a lot of people follow these courses and then try to copy what the instructor is doing rather than make it work for them.
Yeah, you have to be able to take whatever thing you learn and realize that it's not a prescription for you in your unique individual situation. You need to be able to extrapolate towards unseen situations, right? Like whatever you learn, these are frameworks. These are just tools for you to use. One of the best mentors we have. Yeah. So thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, I mean, I went from a student to mentor to head mentor to principal mentor.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a nice little progression.
Do you see any trends or common problems that the mentees are coming in with, or is there a specific answer to a question they're looking for?
The biggest thing
which isn't how do I become a data scientist?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is people just have a tendency just to feel overwhelmed. They get overwhelmed by just the vast amount of knowledge there is that you're supposedly supposed to learn as a data scientist. And then they look at what everybody else is doing and assume that they need to learn what everybody else is learning. But I do not think that that is the case. I think you should start where you are, understand the fundamentals, master the fundamentals, and then as you become more proficient and develop an intuition in the fundamentals, whatever you need to learn on demand, you will be able to learn and pick up. So the biggest thing I've noticed in mentees when they come into Data Science Dream Job is that they are just really overwhelmed and really confused, which leads to a state of fear, which then leads them to be stunned into inaction and incapable of moving forward because they are in their own way.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I find myself having to do during my office hours there is just like kindly push people out of their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I do it kindly, but I push them out of their own way.
Sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah.
But with it being International Women's Day, have you seen more female data scientists come in over the last few years?
Yeah. I feel like we've like just, I mean, we have like 3,000 students as this Data Science Dream Job, and I feel like there's a pretty even mix. I haven't looked at the actual statistics, but there's a decent mix, you know. And
that's a really positive sign.
Yeah, definitely, and that's good. I mean, it's not like just only men can do STEM because only men can think in a certain particular way that makes it more conducive for them to get a job.
I just think a different way and get there. I take a different road but get to the same end result. That's it.
Yeah. Anybody can be a data scientist. It's not something
just like I can't even do maths, so you know I'm terrible at numbers. So if I can still work with data, then anyone can.
But I'm sure you can get good at numbers with enough practice.
A little bit, yeah. I definitely feel like I wasn't taught the right way when I was at school that worked for my brain.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I don't think any of us were actually ever taught how to learn, which is
that's true.
Sad.
Yeah. I know, especially at university, it was like 3 years of drinking and 1 year of hardcore study just to get through.
I will plead the fifth.
And what else? I was going to ask you something, and I can't believe it. My brain has gone completely blank. So you're not from Canada originally, are you? Because I'm not even sure I knew you were in Canada, which is pretty bad considering how long we've been chatting.
Yeah.
I mean, you're West Coast USA. Are you West Coast Canada?
No, I'm born and raised in Sacramento, California. So I lived in Sacramento until I was almost 30 years old.
Maybe that's why I thought you were from West Coast. Yeah.
I did a few years in Chicago, did a little pit stop in Chicago, and then for the last like 7 years almost, I've been in Winnipeg, Canada.
Is that east or west?
That's
North?
like right in the middle, directly
In the middle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's why it's so cold.
yes. It
Do you
gets
ever
really,
get used
really
to that
cold.
weather?
I love cold weather. I absolutely love
Oh
cold weather.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. Like to me, it just builds character and to be out because I'll go out and I'll walk in the cold. If it's -20 C, -30 C, I'll be out there walking in the cold.
Yeah.
I take cold showers. Just because
Oh, you're going to tell me you're up at 5 a.m. next? You
before
probably are because you've got a small child.
4:30.
But
Yeah, 4:30.
no. Oh,
Dude,
you are showing me up.
that's how I get things done, man. That's the only way.
Well, I think that was going to be my question because you really do sound like you are one of the busiest people I know. Possibly just slightly less busy than Kate Strachney.
Possibly, yeah.
Just like a hair's length of less.
Yeah. I mean, it's just focus. It's all about focusing on what it is that you want to achieve. And then just like, for example, like I have set goals and stuff I need to accomplish for the week. Like I write all that stuff down and I just focus on the things that need to get done that are going to more closely move me to my goals than
Okay,
things that are
I need
completely
to get some
unrelated.
tips from you then. I do have my own little like get it done list.
Nice. I like that.
And I kind of plan out what I need to do for the day.
Yeah.
Get that out, and then what I might like to get done for the day or for the rest of the week. But I am terrible at getting distracted. Like absolutely shocking. Like constantly on LinkedIn answering messages, checking my emails, just doing anything apart from what I should be doing.
Yeah, I was struggling with that for a while. Like, and I still do struggle with it. It's a habit loop that I get into. Like I'll start with the email, like all 3 email addresses. I'll check all 3 of my email addresses. Then I'll go check my podcast download stats, and then I'll check my LinkedIn, and then I'll like check like Twitter and Instagram to see how those are doing. And then it's just a loop. And then next thing I know, like it's been like 15 minutes gone, and I have to refocus. And that's challenging, and it's hard to get anything done when you have that type of loop.
Although I find I could work well at the weekends because like I live on my own, so it's peaceful. There's no phone ringing, there's no emails going, so I can just kind of focus a bit more. But I did actually get up early this morning and managed to do an hour on my book before my work day started. So I'm trying to kind of focus in more on just like one task in 1 hour, not a million tasks in 1 hour.
Yeah, I tried to adopt this, but there's like this high performance calendar which had you break down your day by hour, and I tried to follow along with that, but I found it too restrictive. And now the way I've done it is, you know what, on this day, these are the things that I want to get accomplished, and they're not even that much, no more than a handful. But they have to be a handful of the most important things that are going to help me get to wherever it is I need to get to.
I'm the same. People are like, oh, you should do the Pomodoro technique, which is I think it's 20 minutes, 5-minute break, 20 minutes, and then another break. But I would be like constantly waiting on the alarm to go off, I think. So I'm better just, when I am in the zone, I'm better just going with it.
Yeah, you have
I'm out of the zone.
You have to find things that work for you. Like you can have your own modified version of the Pomodoro technique, but as long as you're adopting the spirit of what the thing is, right? You don't have to do exactly 25 minutes. You can do a work sprint and then just stop whenever you feel that bit of distraction, take a break, take a breather, stretch, and then go back and focus on stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. So what are the upcoming trends in data science then? Are there new sexy job titles that are coming out that are just really just the same as the old things, but there's new words being bandied around, like in procurement, sustainability is the word of the moment.
Oh man, that's a good one. I don't know of any trends in terms of job titles. I do know that job titles are varied and all over the place. But in terms of trends, I'd say ML ops is probably the the next big wave that I think everybody should be educating themselves on.
Okay.
And I think ML ops in itself might become a discipline within data science. You might just have kind of job titles as ML ops engineer or ML ops
Yeah.
consultant, whatever. Vin Vasista was talking about this actually recently, uh, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago on my pod on the happy hours about the wide variety of different roles that are popping up, and one of them was like ML architect and things like that. Actually, I think you might have been on that episode
I
where
I
yeah,
think I might have been, yeah.
yeah,
We've got a question. Who is that from?
yeah,
Jeanette.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's very, very important. So I typically I don't bring my phone outside of my office. So this office and this is like my work zone. And when I'm outside of this office, it's like play zone, right? So I don't bring my phone outside the office. Sometimes it's not even in the office. Sometimes it's like stashed away in like
Yeah.
a closet somewhere. And I try not to be as hooked to that thing. Um, but it's difficult, and it's it's tough when I have my web browser up all the time.
I know I've started closing it down when I need to. Like this morning when I was doing the hour of the book, there was no email open, there was no tabs open.
Mm.
I'm like, what? Why can't I do that more often? I should just do that more often. It sounds like such complete sense, and then you try to do it and you get completely distracted.
What I found to help me a lot is just been journaling every morning and just getting just, and I don't know how it's helped me, but it or why it has, but it really has. And I find myself better able to focus. I don't get as distracted anymore by temptations to look at vanity metrics such as downloads, followers,
Yeah.
realistically, like there's nobody really trying to contact me by email. There's I don't know why I keep checking it, right? So it's just
Yeah, and also you can set your phone to like do not disturb, but if someone tries to phone you more than twice, it'll get through, So there's if it was an emergency,
yeah,
someone could get you. So
yeah,
I think we are kind of ruled a little bit by tech.
yeah,
But there
definitely.
was a study today or recently, Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital. No, that was Twitches, not tech. Honestly, my brain is absolutely frazzled at the minute between the book and working. I really need to take some of my own advice and just rest up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, take a listen to the episode that I recorded with Alex Pang. It's all about the need to build rest into your life. I think the
Yeah.
title of the episode is like "Work Less, Get More Done." And this is also a theme that I've been really exploring is the need to build rest into our lives. So in the future, I don't know how far out in the future, but I've recorded episodes with Max Frenzel, who's a AI researcher based out of Tokyo. He wrote a book called Time Off. That book was phenomenal. I'm also going to be releasing an episode with Tiffany Schlein. She wrote the book 24/6. And that book is essentially a manifesto for why you should take one day a week off from your screen. But she includes a bunch of awesome research on brain science about the need to have rest and screen free time. It's really good, really good book. So those two books are
Yeah,
recommended.
it's definitely something I have to work on.
So you're writing a book. What's your book about?
Oh my goodness. So it is going to be around what is dirty data, what are the consequences for businesses of that dirty data, how you can spot check it to find out if it's there. Then I am going to do a step-by-step how to normalize your suppliers, how to build a taxonomy, and how to classify data. I also need to do a bit on data protection. I wanted to build like a dirty data maturity model or something so that I haven't quite figured it out yet, but moving from dirty data to something that sounds fun, not just clean data, but yeah, so along the stages. So
You can
yeah,
come up with an acronym, rinse, RINSE, and then come up with like, you got to rinse your dirty data. and then I don't know what the
I've got
RIN or SE.
I've got quotes in there as well. There's a whole lot on
Okay.
quotes.
Okay.
Yeah, rinse. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're talking about maturity models and all this stuff you're talking about, like this
Yeah.
is the new type of stuff that I've have to learn about and to be able to talk intelligently about and implement in my current. Yeah.
I'm totally winging it. I'm
Yeah.
like, it just sounds good.
So I've got this book here that's been very, very helpful. Two books actually. So there's this one, Modern Data Strategy. So this book is like
I
all this stuff about
recognize that.
like data governance and all that stuff. Like I don't know anything about that. Luckily George gave me
I
access
know.
to
I'm like,
course.
just speak to George. It's fine.
Yeah, well he gave me access to his course, which I'm grateful for, and I've been making my way through that, and that's been amazing. Another good book that I've been reading with respect to what we're talking about is The Data Management Toolkit by
Oh, that's a good one.
Aaron Steenbeek. Have you read this one yet?
No, but it looks good.
It's good. Yeah. I found it super helpful, and it's just a step-by-step guide for implementing a data strategy in an organization.
Brilliant.
There's another book that is conspicuously missing from my stack here. Scott Taylor.
I was going to say, is it Scott Taylor one?
He needs to send me a book.
He absolutely does. I have the PDF version, and I'm struggling for time to read it. I'm not a massive reader. I really just can't get on with reading, but I am making a huge effort to read Scott's book because it's Scott.
Yeah, dude, reading, you got to make that a habit. Like if you just carve out like 15 minutes every morning to read.
I promise you. My dad used to take us to the library every Saturday. He looked after us while my mum worked. And from the age of about 7, I would literally refuse point blank to take anything from the library. Like my brother would come out with like arms fulls of books. He loved reading. I just have always really struggled with not to read. I just don't enjoy it. My mind goes off to other places. It's not my thing.
So I mean, you gotta read what you love until you love to read. That's how you do it.
Yeah,
you got to.
Oh, someone else has got Scott's book.
Nice. Well, Scott's supposed to come back on the podcast to talk about his book, and that
man loves a promotion. Get him on.
We're doing that right now, Scott. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, where is he? Come on, Scott. Oh, hang on. Who's this?
The laundry cycle. Nice. That is a good analogy.
Oh, I can't see who it is.
A LinkedIn user.
Whoever that is, that's awesome.
So how many people are joining us today? Where's everybody from? I'd love to know.
Where is it? I can see Larry Long, who is procurement guru. He's in Canada.
Oh, nice.
I want to say Toronto, but he might correct me on that. Oh, it's Jeanette. What happens when you wash your laundry, leave it and forget to dry it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't leave your dirty data in the laundry. No. Yes.
No, definitely.
Do not do that. That will get moldy.
I've been using analogies about shower gel bottles in my book as well.
Nice.
Yay! Grace is in Houston, and I did get Larry right. He is in Toronto.
Very nice. Very nice.
Jeanette is in Georgia. So we have a nice broad range. Have you guys got any questions for Harpreet? You're quite into kind of mindfulness and meditation, aren't you, as well? Did I get that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I try to meditate. I do meditate every morning as my water is boiling for my coffee. It's only 10 minutes, but it's enough. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah. You have to create time.
You have to make space, because I'll just sit at my desk and wait for the coffee to boil, whereas actually, I should just be at my desk.
Yeah. I try to be all about mindfulness and stuff like that. It's difficult, but I think that is the purpose of doing it, right? Because it's a lifelong practice.
That's it.
Philosophy is a way of life, as Pierre Hadot would say.
So what in terms of philosophy, who would you recommend reading and or getting into philosophy? You know,
For me, it's mostly been Stoicism. So Stoic
yeah,
philosophy's been,
that's the word I was trying to remember but
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah. So that's the big one for me personally. Like, other people will have different philosophies that will suit their belief system and their life and their way of life and the way they want to carry out their life. But I found Stoicism seems to resonate mostly with me,
Yeah.
or more deeply with me, rather, I should say. So, I mean, a part of my journaling practice every morning is I will reflect on a piece of Stoic wisdom. So I always have this book at hand, The Practicing Stoic. And then what I will do is I will just take a quote from one of these, write it in here, and then reflect on that quote and try to reinterpret it in my own words to
I really like
have
that.
it
That's
have it
really good advice.
sit with me. If anybody is into Stoicism, I think the best place to start is with Epictetus and Enchiridion. That's a quick book. It's free online too through like MIT. You can get it. It's should be free. It's like 2,000 plus years old. But that's like,
How did you find philosophy? Did it find you?
I think I was just, it's cliche as it sounds, but when the student is ready, the master will appear, right? Type of
Yeah.
thing. I spent a lot of 2018, 2019 reading a lot of business books and books that were based on just like kind of scientific studies and things like that. And it wasn't until 2020 where I started to read about people's lives and other people's stories and how they've gone through things. And through that process, it ultimately introduced me more and more into podcasts. And I remember hearing Ryan Holiday talk about stoicism, and I was like, what is this stoicism stuff? This guy just, what's he talking about? And so I was skeptical of it at first. And then I started to delve deeper and do my own research and suspended my belief for a while and just, yeah, kind of, it just let it come to me, I guess, and
Yeah.
just open my mind to it.
That's cool. And we have a really important question, like really, really, really important question.
Who is leading the Content Creators Award so far? Dude, I haven't checked the numbers yet, actually. It's a good question. I need to check the numbers.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about that? In fact, I don't even get a
Yes,
link.
please. Yeah, I got to give you guys a link to this. So the content creator, the Data Community Content Creators Award is I think it's an innovative type of award ceremony. It is going to be hosted live on LinkedIn and powered entirely by you, the data community. And the biggest reason for, so I would say there's two reasons for us doing this. Reason number one, obviously, is to honor all of the content creators out there who have done amazing work, because creating content, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and that's time, effort, energy that that person cannot recoup. And if we do not recognize these individuals for all that they have done, um, then that's just a shame on us as a community, right? So I think that's reason number one, is to honor these people. Reason number two is there's so many people out there that we have not even heard of, right?
That's true.
And this is going to be an excellent way for us to help raise awareness for all these other people who are out there creating content but maybe aren't as visible on LinkedIn or whatever.
That's a
So
great
those are
idea.
two main reasons. Yeah.
And is it purely LinkedIn content creators
No,
or
so
just
yeah,
anyone?
no, we've got a bunch of different categories. So the categories kind of fall along the lines of YouTube, blog, GitHub, Kaggle, podcast, author of a technical book, and author of a pop culture book, and social media. So the categories we have are YouTube, and in YouTube you could pick your favorite person who's done math and stats tutorials, machine learning and AI tutorials, general data science videos. You can pick your favorite blogger,
Oh, that's cool.
your favorite Kaggler, your favorite GitHub profile. You can also pick your favorite podcast or talk show. So be sure to go and vote for the Data Den show. What is this? Live from the Data Den, sorry.
I'm from the data den.
Live,
That's all
yes.
right.
Go vote for this show. There's also, like I mentioned, authors. So authors of instructional, technical, or textbook type of books. and then authors who have written books for the popular audience, but then deal with data science topics. And then there's also social media presence. So your favorite LinkedIn person, your favorite Instagram account, or your favorite Twitter profile. So along all those kind of
Amazing.
verticals, is that the right word? But that's pretty much, yeah, who we're targeting. I'll go ahead and I'll send you the link here in the private chat if you want to share that
Yes,
with
that'd be
everybody
fun.
else.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get that out there.
And so this like idea, like I saw awards being like awarded on LinkedIn, and I was like, hold on, wait. You don't need like a backing of a government authority to sanction you to be able to give out award. You can just give out awards to people, right?
Well, I've started to notice in my world, you have to like pay to get entered into some awards. And I'm like, well, that's not really a fair thing. Or we'll pay to be featured in our magazine as one of the most inspiring women. Well, no, I want to be chosen. I don't want to have to pay for it, because then it's not really real. It's just what I think.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a huge
that the
thing
community is having a say on that. Yeah,
it's entirely driven by the community. So without you guys, this show is not going to be a success, right? So you guys are an instrumental, and I'm talking, I don't know how many people are watching this, but all of you watching, hopefully it's more than 3.
14 we've got.
14A, there you go. All 14 of you guys can make it different.
And the people on demand afterwards, which will be in the hundreds, get voting
for me. Hundreds of millions. All right, hundreds of millions of people out there listening to this on the interwebs. We cannot make this event a success without you, without your input. Please, this form that Susan has shared with you guys in the comments, share that on your LinkedIn profile. Help us spread the word. Help us make this bigger and better than we could.
And I think, we all see each other every day and hang out. We're like co-workers, but we want to see who else is out there. So like you were saying, some people that maybe aren't so well known. So yeah, that would be cool. So in terms of plans for Harpreet and the Artists of Data Scientists, what does the future hold?
I just hope to keep bringing amazing people onto the show that have something interesting to share. Like I'm not really a data science podcast. Am I a data science podcast? Possibly, right? We have the office hours, the happy hours where people come and ask whatever data science questions they want to ask, and we'll get you help on that.
Yeah.
I do bring in data scientists who have written books or who are cool, who have something to share. But I think primarily my podcast is a self-development, self-improvement podcast for data scientists, right? So kind of like the tagline of my podcast is become more, right?
Yeah.
So this is really a show for people who want to become more. My goal is to introduce you guys to the people and the ideas that are going to inspire creativity and innovation in yourself, so then you can go and spread that like wildfire. All right, that's what I'm hoping to do with the show. So people who are continued to be aligned with that kind of vision is who I'm going to bring on. I've got a bunch of cool people coming up in the very near future. From now until the end of April, I've got like 20 people I'm interviewing, which is going to be, it's going to be very, very busy, but then I get to take a hard break come May, and then I won't.
Yeah, I thought you said you were taking a bit, but Scott better get himself in there.
Yeah, we're scheduled, I think, for the end of April. So
cool.
Yeah.
Grace is asking about a recommendation for data governance YouTube channel.
Well, George Farrakhan's
George, yeah.
For
a balance, there's also Nicola Askham here in the UK as well.
Okay, I did not know.
She does a lot of data governance.
Okay.
Her and George are my 2 data governance go-to people.
Nice. I'll have to check hers out as well. Yeah, George, his content has been extremely relevant for me in what I'm going through at work, and he was generous enough.
I've just said Nicola has a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if she does, but I'm sure she's definitely got videos and things on her website, if not. So she's got some good resources, that's for sure. Not necessarily YouTube.
Yeah. Samir also has a great podcast that I've really been drawing a lot of insight from. I think it's just called the Data Strategy Show or Data Strategy Podcast. Samir Sharma. So he's got some awesome stuff as well that I found very helpful. Um, and it's cool, man, working on this type of stuff. Like I'm very, very uncomfortable with this, right? Like this is the type of work that like I've never done in my career.
Scares me.
Yeah,
Scares the hell out of me.
oh, it's super uncomfortable, but that's how I know it's the thing I should be working on, right?
Yeah.
If I keep doing machine learning all day, like I mean, I don't know anything about deep learning. I'm mostly just classical machine learning and statistics. And that stuff is fine and dandy and fun, but is doing more of that going to help me get to where it is that I ultimately want to be as a data scientist, which is in the C-suite in that high level, chief type of role? Probably not. So that's why I need to focus on more of this stuff.
Grace has already found George. Look at that.
Well, Grace, did you also know that you can find the Artists of Data Science on YouTube as well? So
I would check that out. And the Classification Guru.
That's
We're
right.
all there.
Go smash that subscribe channel and
No, you didn't just say the smash word.
what's that?
The smash. That's so like trendy and
smash that
smash
like.
that button.
Smash it. How about ring that ding, sub that scribe?
I have not heard those ones before.
Yeah.
I don't hang around YouTube enough, obviously.
No, yeah.
So how many subscribers have you got on YouTube?
Not many, like almost 600, something like that.
Yeah, I've got like 130, so
yeah.
So you're doing better than me. But do you do much to drive your YouTube channel or?
No, I think marketing my podcast is something that I am going to be focusing more on after I'm done recording for the year. So when I say done recording for the year, I'm saying that like at the end of April, I will have more than enough episodes to carry me into early next year, which
Nice.
allows the rest of 2021 to focus on other strategic types of initiatives. One of which will include promoting the podcast more. But I've been really humbled by the groundswell of this grassroots movement. Like I'm getting tagged almost daily, people talking about my podcast from all over the world. I'm like, oh my God, this is like,
it's cool, isn't it?
Right? Yeah. So I know that my audience is very loyal. My audience is like hands down the best audience there is out there for sure. The people that listen to my show, the Artists of Data Science, they are the artists. They're a special breed of data scientists for sure. These are the people that are going to be the leaders in our field, and the loyalty I've received from them has just been it's heartwarming.
Just imagine when we can actually travel and you'll get stopped at the airport going, oh my God, it's Harpreet.
That'd be weird.
I know. Yeah. So I came into lockdown with nobody knowing who the hell I was, and I'm going to come out of lockdown with a bit more people knowing who I am. So the first real event is possibly going to be a bit weird. I know Kate's talked about this before, where people have come up to her and been like, "Can we have a picture?" and things like that. And yeah, that's a bit mad, but will probably happen to you too. I would pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah, that'd be weird. Because believe it or not, man, I'm like a really huge introvert. So all throughout lockdown, man, I've been like thriving. I'm like,
yeah,
I now have an excuse not to go anywhere. Sorry, guys, can't. Government says I gotta stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today a lot of the kids went back to school in the UK. Which is like the first step of I think I can now go and meet one friend in a park and sit on a bench and have a coffee like 2 meters apart. So that's progress. In about another 5 weeks time, I think I might be able to get my hair done.
Yeah, we were on lockdown pretty strict from October through mid-February. Like restaurants were all takeout, no haircuts, no beauty stores or anything like that. We couldn't even go to the store to buy non-essential items. Like they closed off aisles in the stores.
Yeah.
So you can only buy like medication and like ultimate necessities.
Yeah.
Which was rough. Like couldn't buy clothes or anything like that from the store.
Wow.
But recently it's been relaxed. Like can finally go back and get a haircut. I got one this weekend just for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, gotta
Just
look
rubbing
good.
it in.
Yeah, just, no, I mean, you look
I've got so much
fantabulous.
hair; it just needs chopped off so badly.
Yeah, I had like a bit of a like fro going for a
Before.
while, and
Yeah.
then my wife cut my hair for me, and she did a surprisingly good job, and that helped me over for a while. But they had it. But it's still right now. It's in order for you to go out to a restaurant, the people you go with all have to be from the same household. So you have to
Yeah.
show your ID, and if you have different IDs, and you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I definitely be like table for one.
Yeah.
I know it's you walk in town and all the Christmas decorations are still up in the shops. It's a bit weird.
Really?
Yeah, because everything kind of shut just before Christmas.
Huh, that's weird.
So like the trees are still up, and there's like Christmas gifts still in the stores. Just
I would love that
hoping
actually.
in time.
I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. I don't know why. Like I just absolutely love Christmas time.
No, I don't know. Summer, I think. I like summer.
Yeah. Summer's nice.
Yeah,
But
I think
there's something about the holidays. Something about the holidays is warm and fuzzy.
there's like a different vibe.
Yeah.
And do you guys like, because Easter's coming up, and I don't think in the US anyway that they really do Easter eggs like we do over here. Is Canada the same, or
Yeah, we actually
like
have
you
the
get like
same.
big old Easter eggs?
Yeah, I mean, I've never gone Easter egg hunting since I've been in Canada, but I imagine it's probably the same. We have like all the same holidays as the British calendar in Canada. Like they follow
Yeah,
very closely all those same national holidays and stuff like that.
yeah. Oh, you don't know, honestly. Big, massive chocolate.
Like a Fabergé egg.
Yeah, but just chocolate. Oh, so good.
So somebody has a random question for me.
Oh yeah.
Who do people tell me that I look like? Huh.
Is that Grace again?
I don't know, man.
Who do you look like apart from yourself?
I think people might say my mom, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Whoever that is, which might not Grace, who was it? Jeanette, maybe, that said that.
That's a good question. I'm gonna actually add that to the random round of my podcast now. Who do people tell you that you look like? That
Yeah.
is when you tune into the podcast from a few months on, that is going to be a question that you'll hear. It's part of the random round. I like that. I don't know who do I
thought maybe Jeanette thought you did look like someone, and that's why she asked the question.
I'm gonna add that one to the list.
Well done, Jeanette. Inspiration.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. A TV reality guy.
I don't know. There you go. You look like you're on TV.
Yes.
You're already. Yeah, there you go. You're halfway there to celebrity status.
Trying to, man. See what happens. Like when I think about what I want the artist of data science to become, like,
yeah,
I see myself in competition with like Joe Rogan, Tom Bilyeu, Tim Ferriss, James Altucher, who was on my show actually. These are the people who I really want to like compete with. When I think of my competition for what the artist of data science is, it's those people. That's where I'm trying to elevate the show to.
You're on your way, my friend. So where can people check out the podcast?
So it's available everywhere on Apple. If you guys are on Apple, please leave a review. Leave a 5-star review only, please. No 1-star reviews. Somebody did leave one. So it's everywhere: Apple, Google, Amazon, Audible, Spotify.
I've got you on mine.
Yeah,
I'm subscribed.
That's everywhere. But if you prefer to watch it on the web, just theartistofdatascience.fireside.fm.
I think that's the link I shared. I did. Yeah. Let's do that again.
And you guys can also come hang out with me every Friday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time for the Artist of Data Science happy hour. Those
which
are
is
for sure
10:30 UK time, I think.
10:30. Yeah, that's quite late for you guys. But it's a lot of fun, and we have another office hour that happens Sunday at 11 a.m. Central
Yes,
Time.
I haven't caught this yet because that is in my time zone.
Yeah, that one I've purposely made it earlier in the day so that my friends in UK and Europe can join in without interrupting their sleep. So there's two ways you guys can come and hang out live and direct. But my podcast episodes drop every Friday. Like the interviews are like I pour my heart and soul into those interviews. Like the amount of research that goes into it, um, and just coming up with questions that I feel will benefit the audience and help make you guys better. So please check out the interviews as well. I'm really, really proud of those. Definitely super proud of all the office hours and happy hours. Like I couldn't do that without you guys either. So please.
Honestly, the information knowledge exchange that goes on in those is just phenomenal. And half of it goes over my head, but I'm still like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, I've got to do something like, I mean, it's just a matter of getting time, but I got to do something where I take those office hours and maybe chunk them up into small bits where it's like, oh, this person asked this question, have like a little think on that. So if anybody,
an assistant, that's what you need.
Well, I'll say this, like I get messages multiple times a day for people asking me to mentor them and whatever. And I really can't like just give up my time like that.
No,
just because it's
too
such,
much.
yeah, it's such limited amount of time that I have, right? But I'm more than happy to trade my time to mentor you if you can help me offload some of the stuff related to my podcast.
There's an offer and a half. So yeah, anyone interested?
Yeah, if anybody has skills with video editing, if anybody knows how to make a WordPress website, please reach out to me. Just things like that. I'm really happy to help people, you know, as long as there's a mutual kind of right. Because time is time, man.
Sounds great. Well, I can't believe that's our hour nearly up already. Where does the time go?
I don't know, man. Can we just hang out all day?
I know. We didn't even get to do our lip sync duet.
We need to make that happen. Definitely.
Right. If you're watching, suggest a song.
And we'll do it.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I've also promised Tom Ives one as well. So it has to happen.
Yes. Yes, it must.
Yes. Cool. Well, where can people find you if they want to get more information about you or
LinkedIn is
data science?
Yeah, LinkedIn is for sure my social media platform of choice. Definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. Hit that follow button, smash that follow button. Podcast is available everywhere, so check that out. And if you guys go to the artist of data science.fireside.fm, you can find me there as well. Also, for everyone listening, if you guys are interested in joining Data Science Dream Jobs, I'll give your audience a code which will give them 70% off of
that sounds cool.
Data Science Dream Job. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that right here with you. There you go.
Okay, so guys, are you ready? Oh.
Yeah. So I've got such an awesome team of people that I work with. There's, John Sebastian, Lediona, Chris. These are amazing mentors, and I'm really, really honored to be able to work with them. I am also on Clubhouse at Artists of Data. So that's
I follow you. I hope I am.
I just joined like 2 days ago or something like that. So very, very new.
Possibly not then.
Yeah, so I'm definitely I'd love to be more active on Clubhouse. It seems like an interesting platform and one that I could flex my moderator skills on. So I'm looking forward to.
You are a wicked moderator, and actually, very quickly, what's your top moderation tips?
Top moderation tips is just make sure you give everyone a chance to speak who you think has a contribution to make.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a very good one. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah. You will have Harpreet's details in the chat, so get in touch with him if you've got any questions. If you are in the market to swap some services, let him know. He's definitely up for that. And I will see you in our little group data chat later. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Guys, take care. Remember, you've got one life on this planet. Why not try to do something big? Cheers, everyone.
I love that. This man is so cool. Thank you. So that's it for another week. I have got who have I got on next week? I did actually look it up and then I forgot. Guess what? I have got George Furrican on. So that's going to be exciting. We've just been talking about him and his data governance videos, etc. So that's going to be good. So that is it for this week. Happy International Women's Day. I have done a special Women's Day lip sync video if you want to check it out in my posts. And if you have any suggestions for any guests on the Data Den or for lip syncs or for anything else, then do not hesitate to get in touch. I will see you again next week. Thank you so much for your time.